Thank you so much for everybody for joining. Can you guess the test? This is an interactive game show. Co-host myself, Anthony Wallace, and Deborah O'Malley. And this is, as we said before, this is an education serial game show where you contestants can get the test of luck and see if they can guess which A/B test is the winner. So I'm your game show host. I am Anthony Wallace. I'm the founder of the Stupid Simple e-commerce blog. I recently became the serial manager of Prayella, which is a Shopify e-commerce agency, and there you can kind of see my LinkedIn information and my website there. And then now we can take it over to Deborah.
All right. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a top A/B testing influencer, recognized as a leading women's CRO specialist, and I founded the go-to A/B test case study resource, Guess the Test, where the tests from today come from. So you, in real time, are going to get to guess which test you think won, see the answer, and see if you get testing fame and glory.
All right. Now, let's get to our serial contestants here. All right, so we have the returning champion, Jonny London from Journey Further. We have two new contestants here. We have Linda Bustos from Edgacent and Ecom Ideas. And then we also have the great Alun Lucas from Zuko. So let's give a round of applause for these people. And these are our contestants for today.
Welcome. All right.
All right, guys, let's move on to the rules of the game. We're going to make this nice and quick so we can get right to the game. So there's 3 rounds where contestants will guess which variant of an A/B test won, okay? Each round will have a different time limit and a point total for each guess that is correct. So round 1, we have 5 points. Each contestant has a potential to get 5 points, and you have 20 seconds to choose. Round 2 is 8 points. 20 seconds to choose, and round 3 is 12 points with 10 seconds to choose. All right, so the winners, such as Jonny Longden, they will move on to the next episode to play 2 new contestants. All right, so those are the rules of the game, and now we can kind of get started.
All right. So as I mentioned, this month's theme is surprising tests, but not just surprising tests that will make you do a double take. And when I say double take, I mean A, B, unsure, going, which one is it? I can't guess the answer, because it really is kind of a 50-50 toss-up which the answer is. But there is a right answer, and your job is going to be to correctly guess the test. So, contestants, do you feel up to the challenge?
No.
No. Well, that's bad news, Jonny, because you are the first one to go. So this question is, which AI-generated sub-headline won, the shorter one or the longer one? Now, this is an interesting test. So we looked, Jonny, previously as the reigning champion, you may remember, we looked previously at AI versus human-generated headlines. This is all AI generated, and it was done in a platform that took the control and then iterated on the control to try and create an even more optimized version of the headline. Now, I won't tell you which version is the control. Obviously, one of them was, but it took the previous headline and then it tried to, make it even better. In this version here, we see a longer subheadline, and in this version here, we see a shorter subheadline. So the KPI for this test, they were trying to get people to click through from the hero section here into the site. And it was for a Lottie Files design and development platform. And a Lottie File is a new kind of file type like a GIF or a JPEG. It's used by designers and developers. It kind of looks like this. They obviously wanted to get users into their site and then clicking to sign up for an account. That was the conversion goal. And the traffic was everyone who came to the site, but primarily designers and developers who were interested in creating a Lottie file again that looked like this. So, contestants, I'd like you to lock in your answer in the chat, version A or version B. Which one?
All right. You have 20 seconds to go. I want to put on some waiting music to make sure that you guys have that those 20 seconds, all right?
And I'm sorry.
All right.
All right. And I see everyone has locked in their answers, so no changing, no going back. You can't say, oh, I didn't mean that. Your answer is locked in. And we have Jonny up first. Tell us your answer and your rationale.
Yeah, I said A. I don't really know why I said that. I think I just felt like if it's just the click through that it's measured on, more information might just seem more inviting or something like that. It's quite
Okay.
light text, so I can't imagine people actually really read it very much.
Okay.
So I just felt like just more text might just feel a bit more inviting or something like you getting into more information.
Fair. So more inviting, more information, more details maybe makes people more comfortable. Linda, what was your rationale? Your
I
answer and
hate
your
to
rationale.
hurt the AI's feelings, but at the risk of it, it's not a very good copywriter. But I did pick A as well, just because B is so short and snappy. Like for a call to action that says get started, it's not learn more, it's not, watch a video, it's not book a demo, it's like get started. So I agree. I actually agree with you made a good point, Jonny, that probably people didn't even read it. It just gave more of like an ambient feeling that build more confidence in getting started than pithy tagline.
Fair. Okay. So similar rationale, more details, kind of make people feel a little bit more comfortable. And Alun, what was your answer and your rationale?
Well, I also went for A. The reason was I didn't really get B at all because it's pretty bland, no code solution. Yeah, so what? Lottie, what is a Lottie? I can't tell you what a Lottie is. It's not telling me anything. Now, A is not that much better. It's a little bit waffly, but at least it says interactive Lottie animations. So I might think, okay, animations. I kind of understand you do animations. So I'm going to go. Whereas there's nothing in the second in version B that explains what it actually does. So that's the reason I went for A.
Okay, so similar, more detail, a little bit more clear, gives some context and helps people kind of wrap their head around.
Well, just
okay.
it does explain a little bit, as I don't think that B means anything.
All right, so A across the board. We're going to reveal the answer now, and we're going to see if our reigning champion gets to so far keep his title, and if our new contestants are going to actually be right or wrong. So drum roll. Dun, 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 dun. And Anthony, do you have music that's going on?
Yeah, it's coming.
All right. So that we'll keep the suspense even more. And here we go. The answer is Ruben.
Oh.
All right. Actually guessed it wrong. In this case, shorter actually won. And it won by quite a margin. It contributed to a 45% lift at 90% statistical significance. It was a reasonable sample size of 90,000 visitors. So, you could argue it's not as powered as it could be, but it's still fairly strongly powered. So what does this show us? It shows us that we want to make headlines easy to scan. And in my opinion, this version won because people just don't have the attention span anymore that they used to. And even 3 lines of text is too much for some people. I look at the way my kids interact with media and they're scrolling through on their iPads, like, they give it about 3 seconds. And the research certainly supports that people's attention span is now just 8.25 seconds, down from 12 seconds in the year 2000. And that means that a goldfish has a longer attention span than us now at 9 seconds. So it shows that we really want to reduce distraction, make headlines short, quick, easy to scan. And I would say as a guideline, 2 to 3 lines max, especially on mobile. Now this was still within that guidelines, but for users looking for a design image file, it just seemed to be too much. So that is the rationale for, make headlines short and scannable. And if you want more info about the test, you can go ahead and click that QR code there and learn more about the test and how everything was set up. Contestants, any thoughts? Everyone's they're all disillusioned, all deflated. All right, well, you have chance to make it up. And here we go. So our current point totals are across the board. All right. So on to our next question. And this one, again, very surprising. It really could waffle either way. And this one kind of was with you in mind, Jonny, because it's generalist, and I know you look at these kinds of elements. Which nav menu copy was the best? And we're going to look exactly at what the variants are. So we have here a newspaper, an online newspaper navigational menu, where they changed nothing else but one word. They changed buy and sell versus classifieds. That was the only thing they changed across the menu. And they wanted to know which version converts better, which version gets more people into that section of the nav menu, getting them to click through into it, increasing engagement and subsequent conversions. And they were specifically testing for direct search social traffic. Now, these people who were going to the site, they're educated, they tended to be affluent males over age 35 with children. So a very specific demographic that they were looking at. And this test was run for the newspaper Mongol McClatchy Media, and they publish a whole bunch of newspapers across the United States. So specifically, they were questioning, hey, does the word classifieds still resonate with people? Is that what people expect when they go into the classified ads? Or is that an old and outdated way of saying it? And should we update the wording to buy and sell? Does that kind of speak more to this, younger 35-year-old audience? And does it mean something more to them? And
Sorry. So could you go back to the past parameter? Are we looking at click-through rate or a subsequent action afterwards? Is it the subsequent conversions?
Yeah, click-through rate, and then ultimately posting an ad in the either buy and sell or classified section, which is the same section. It's just, named differently.
Okay, so it's what we're guessing is that the best rate.
Sorry, your audio was cutting out.
Is it best conversion rate or best rate?
The conversion rate is click-through rate into this nav title. That was the primary conversion metric. So are people clicking buy and sell and then looking at or posting an ad, or are people more apt to click classified and then post or read an ad?
And what is it? Is it a newspaper, or is it a publishing B2B website?
Yeah, so this is an online newspaper, and it's one of the newspapers that McClatchy Media has. They have about 27 publications across the states, and this is one online newspaper. So I'm just going to pull a name out of my hat. Let's pretend it's the Denver online newspaper. And so you, Jonny, as a reader, are coming here, and you're served either buy and sell or classifieds as the variant to go into that section of the newspaper.
Yeah.
All right. So, contestants, go ahead and lock in your answers. I see Alun has done so. And Jonny to lock in his answer. And Jonny has done so as well. All right. So let's go through and state the rationale. Linda, go ahead.
This was a tough one. I really could have gone either way. I did ultimately pick classifieds. My first thought was what was the demographic? Because I know my age and older kind of understands classifieds. But the male aspect of that I thought would resonate more with buy and sell. But I picked classifieds because I didn't know if the general, I think online newspaper probably skews even older than 35. So I didn't want to get thrown off by 35, which is still pretty young. So I went with classifieds just for like that trigger keyword that might resonate with an even older audience.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. Alun, what was your thinking?
So I went for B as well. My thinking was, if we're just looking at click-through rates, which words are people going to click on most? So buy and sell is only if I'm in the market for buying and selling. But if I just think, oh, just click or browse the classifieds, they might think that there's other things, lonely hearts, all sorts of death notifications, things like that. You get in a traditional newspaper. I think they're more likely just, oh, I'll just have a browse at the classifieds. Whereas they would only go to buy and sell if they were in the market to buy or sell something.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. And our final contestant, what is your rationale?
Yeah, I also said B, and my thinking was just that classifieds is a more conventional word and it would be more understood. Now think about it, that might have the opposite effect because people might be like, oh, what's that? Buy and sell. But yeah, my thinking was just that it was a more conventional word that would be more easily recognized by people.
Okay. All right. So across the board, we have the answer B, classifieds, the more traditional, the more kind of obvious. Now, would it change anyone's answer if I said they actually did user experience testing before they ran an A/B test? And in their user experience test, they actually received the opposite answer of what the A/B test results showed. Does that sway anyone's opinion?
No.
No.
No. Everyone's sticking with B?
I think in a user test, they were probably primed a little bit on what to look for. And when you're being observed and you want to, get the right answer for when you're being observed, I could see them in the user test saying, no, buy and sell is more clear.
Interesting. Okay. Jonny or Alun, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I'd agree with what Linda says.
Same, yeah.
Okay. Anthony, we're going to go ahead and reveal the answer. Let's see if our contestants guessed correct or wrong.
Let's see.
This is filling up. What is the answer? It is Virginia. Everyone got it right. So very well done. Actually having classifieds contributed to 75% lift in click-through rate to the corresponding section. And that's at 99% statistical significance based on a very large sample of 417,000 visitors. So we can trust the results of the study. It was indeed properly powered. So as Linda alluded to, people were probably primed in the UX testing. So interestingly enough, user experience testing revealed buy and sell might be better, but as you said, Linda, people may have been primed. And also there's a lot of research that shows that, especially in UX testing, people will say something that they don't actually follow through with or mean. So a great example of this comes from Jerry McGovern, who's a famous UX researcher. He looked at airplanes and he said to people on the plane, what do you want to eat? What kind of options and snacks should we be offering on the airplane? And they all said, oh, we want healthy fruits and vegetables and we want salads and that kind of thing. And so the airline invested all this money in offering fruits and vegetables and salads. And guess what happened? All the food went rotten. Nobody ate it. People actually wanted chocolate bars and chips and licorice and all the junk food. And so this is a great example that people will say something and do another thing. And that seems to be what happened in the user experience testing, as well as, Linda, as you mentioned, being primed in a certain way. And so that, to me, is a great example of why we A/B test, because ultimately A/B testing is going to give us more unbiased results if our test is run properly. and we can, see really truly how users behave. So while buy and sell may be, a more kind of hip and nouveau term, classifies as what at least this demographic has grown up with and expects when they go to a newspaper, and that's what resonated with them the most. So well done, you all, you passed the test and you got the right answer. Excellent work. And if you want more info on the test, it's available here through this QR code. We did have a problem with our login link. For some reason, nobody was able to log in. So I've shared it on LinkedIn, and now a few people are now coming in. So I'll just say hi to the participants, the audience who have come in. Joel, hello, thank you for joining us. And Bob and Vlad, thank you for joining us. And hopefully we'll see more people as people get a hold of this link that I just posted on LinkedIn, because we had trouble with logging in the first place. All right, so that is number 2, and now we are on to our third and final test, unless we have a tie, and then we will have a tie-breaking question.
So far, there's a tie.
For our points, we are all tied at 8, so a tie-breaking question may indeed be inevitable. We'll see. Depends how people perform on this very last question, which is format 1. Now, Alun, you may be going, oh, yeah, I got it. I have all the form knowledge out there. For those of you who don't know, Alun works for Zuko, and he's specialized in form analytics. And, forms is what he looks at every day. But this is a very surprising form test, because the answer really could go either way. And contestants in the audience, you're going to be doing a double take. Is it A? Is it B? Is it A? Is it B? I'm not sure. So you're going to have to use your wits and try and figure it out. All right. Does the shorter or longer form win? Now, this is an interesting test because it's not just about form length. There's a lot going on here. So let me share it with you. This was for a printing company, Thomas Printing. They do vehicle graphics and all sorts of printing. They've been around for years and years and years, but to modernize, they've had an online web presence. Now, it still looks pretty old, but they're online at least. And they wanted to generate leads, and they said, okay, to generate leads, to get a quote for our printing service, what is better? Should we do a shorter form with a 25% off coupon, or is it better to do a longer form, no coupon, but the fields are a little bit more specific? And I want you to answer that question: shorter with a coupon, or longer, no coupon, but a little bit more specific? Now, in terms of the KPI, they were trying to generate leads from form completions, and they were obviously testing, do we get more people to fill out the form, J or variant B? This was through paid search, and they were local small to medium-sized businesses in the US, which Thomas Printworks is a US company, and so it was targeted kind of to their local audience. All right, so go ahead and look at the question again. Fewer fields with the coupon, or longer fields, no coupon? Now, there's an obvious answer and there's a not so obvious answer, and one of them is right, but you have to really do some deductive logic and thinking here, because it's a trick question. So I'd like you contestants to go ahead and lock in your answers, unless you have any questions. I see Alun is kind of nervously almost biting his nails here. His reputation rides on it. Is he going to crack under the pressure or get the right answer? Jonny's doing the same. All right, what are we going to end up with? The right answer or the wrong answer? Now, we have managed to get some contestants into the Zoom channel, and we have even more joining. Contestants, if you want to either turn on your chat and tell us what you're thinking, or go ahead and type in the chat, we'd love to hear your thoughts. We're going to see if you can maybe sway our audience and change. So I see Vlad is saying A, and Vlad, if you want, you're welcome to turn on your microphone or type in the chat and tell us your thoughts. Why do you think A? In the meantime, we have Sandeep. is saying B. So Sandeep, I would love to hear your rationale. Why B?
I think cars are quite a personal thing. By providing additional data, people might think they'll get more of an accurate quote.
Okay. Okay. Your audio didn't come through all that clearly, but I heard you say people would be more likely to get a quote.
Yeah, so the more information they're providing, I think they'll get more of an accurate quote.
Okay, that's fair. Fair enough. So Alun, Johnny, and Linda, you all said B. So you're in line with what Sandeep is thinking. Vlad, you went with A. Vlad has told us. Oh, go ahead, Vlad.
Oh, sure. So my rationale basically consists of two parts. Like one, I believe the coupon code should, to some extent, incentivize people. And second, the less forms, the faster the form completion. But on the other side, the more fields, the more invested you are, and the more specific you might feel the service would be and more helpful. So there are points for both sides, but I decided A.
Okay, okay, fair. And Joel is saying A, but with a concern. Joel, tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah, so are you testing the offer or are you really testing the form? Because if I see the offer, I'm like, oh, 25% discount. I don't care how long the form is. I want to get that discount. And then the other one is just straight up form. So I think there should really be two tests: one long form versus short form, and then adding the deal to drive them further to fill out the form.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So there are kind of two different things. Like, is it the coupon that sways things, or not having the coupon, or is it the form itself? So definitely agree with Joel. Maybe set it up as a multivariate test, or two separate tests would be ideal. In this case, they combined it, and so there is multiple factors at play. But one of them is the right answer, and one of them is the wrong answer. People seem to be leaning towards B, which is surprising because obviously a coupon code is going to get everyone, right? And obviously a shorter form is going to be the way to go, right? We all know shorter forms are better, right? Anthony, cue up the music and let's do the big reveal.
What's going to be?
Contestants are everyone, I guess version B. Very surprising, but in this case, actually removing the coupon code helped, and having the longer form helped. Not only did it help, it created a strong 140% uplift, and that's from 2.2 to 5.8% conversions. Stats say get 90%. Unfortunately, the sample size wasn't reported, so we don't know how well powered this is. This is a very large uplift, so maybe take it with a grain of salt.
Can I give my thoughts on the reasons why? And
Yeah.
reasons so it was not so much about the form, although I do have some thoughts about that, but it's why are people there? They're there, they want a price. You're getting 25% off in the other one, but what the price? I don't even know what the price is. And is that a step too far? Is one do that in the same? Whereas if you're just looking for okay, I'm more than happy. I just want a quote or want to see it. So I'm happy to go in and I'm happy to give you some information because I think I'm going to get a quote. I'm still in the phase. That's the reason I think that one before
better. That's exactly why I chose B.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Tell us more, Johnny, what you're thinking.
Well, we as an agency work extensively with a windows and doors company. And we found this again and again, that if they say get a quote and it makes it look like you are going to type some information in and then get given a quote by the website, you can massively increase the form completions. But if what it looks like is you're getting a call back from a pushy salesperson, then people are less likely to do that. So, and in either way, you're getting a call back. It's just how you make it look. So I'm sure that's the same, that actually it says get a quick online quote, when actually what's going to happen is you're going to get phoned by a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't want that. They just want to know the price, like Alun said.
Yeah, people usually don't really want to have to talk to anyone if they can avoid it. So interesting, and to me, this really shows that best practices don't always hold true. We, as optimizers, are kind of fed over and over and over again. The shorter the form, the better for the most part. Alun, you probably have counterexamples with insurance companies or places like that where a longer form might convert better.
Yeah, that's true. And also leads, sometimes it does convert better if someone's expecting to give information. So in the case of these two forms, maybe if you think you're gonna get a quote, I think as sort of one of the contributors said, if you're asked for specific information, it thinks, okay, you're going to use that information, so therefore I'm more likely to complete it. Whereas if you don't ask for the information, you think, oh, I'm just going to get a sales call, as Jonny talked about there. So yeah, I've seen that dynamic in lead gen quite a bit.
Okay, interesting. Linda, do you have any thoughts or comments?
Yeah, I think for that kind of an industry, if you see a coupon, it's a little presumptive that you're going to buy. I think people just coming through PPC are very high in their stage. So I think trust alarm bells go off. Users know that there's a cost to giving their personal information and data. And if it looks spammy or like this offer is, I don't know, why are you giving me, might as well have been $100 sweepstakes or something. So I think the right hand side seemed more in line, professional and trustworthy.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Those are great points. So, general takeaway here is the coupons don't always work and they can just end up costing the company money in the end. And if you make your forms relevant and most targeted to the user in a way that the user is going to respond, then you're going to end up converting better. Any final thoughts on that, Alun or Jonny or Linda? No. All right. So that puts us tied 20 points across the board. So we are going to indeed have to go to our skill testing question. Now, if at the end of our skill testing question we still have a tie, I'm going to just randomly pull up a test from Guess the Test, and that will hopefully break the tie. That's how we ended it last time, and Jonny being our reigning champion. But let's see how well your stats prowess and knowledge is. And we are going to look at a definition, which is what, and no cheating, no going to Google, no asking a friend. What is a type 1 error in A/B testing? So it's a multiple choice question, and you get to select the right answer. And we're going to look at type 1 error. So version A, or option A, it's also known as a false positive, and it happens when you claim there's a conversion difference when there's really not. Or is it actually a false negative and you claim there's a conversion difference when there actually is? Conversely, is a type 1 error when you fail to reject the null hypothesis and instead accept the alternative? Or last option, when the test doesn't reach statistical significance, but the test calculators or your testing platform say it did. So tricky, you have to really know off the top of your head what a type 1 error is. Go ahead, contestants, and put your answer privately in the chat. Nobody's actually Googled this, and the audience is all saying A across the board. Now, the contestants, what did they say? If we go with groupthink and sort of the rule of many people getting the right answer, the contestants said, oh, version A. And that means that we have a tie again, because the answer is indeed version A. So well done, contestants and audience. A false negative, a type 1 error is also known as a false positive and claiming a conversion difference when there's really not. And I think this is a great way to look at it and a great way to remember it. A type 1 error is when you're an old man and you're told you're pregnant. Obviously, that's not the case. A type 2er is when you say, no, you're not pregnant, and clearly you're pregnant. So well done, contestants and audience members, which means that we are tied across the board at 30 points. And we're going to have to go into the repository of tests right now and pull up a surprising study that hopefully none of you have seen before and see if you can guess it. So just give me a second. I'm going in to guess the test, and we're going to figure out which version one. I think we will. I'm just going to randomly choose. All right. So we are here in Guess the Test, and I'm going to randomly choose which version one. And I'm not going to choose a form, Alun, because that would be favoring you too much. But here we go. Okay, I think this one will be good. This is another nav question here. And this was done for a cleaning company in the States, Anton's Cleaners. And the question was, should in your nav you have save 50% as your nav category winner? Or should you have VIP Express as your nav category header? So save 50% or VIP Express. Now, the audience was shoppers who are interested in getting dry cleaning services. This was very specific and very local. So it super targeted audience specifically to the Boston area. And that may have influenced, you know, how people responded. It was direct search, referral, organic, and paid traffic. The goal was to get people to click through into the menu and then ultimately sign up for a loyalty member program with the cleaning. And it was run by an agency whose client was Anton's Cleaners. So go ahead, audience, and
Can
go
I ask
ahead.
you a question about this?
Absolutely.
So were they measuring the conversion rate after the click or pre-click?
They were measuring click-through rates, and I think as well, don't quote me on it because it's been a long time since I did this test write-up, but I think as well, loyalty member signups. So once visitors clicked in, did they then also sign up?
Right, but were they measuring it from that VIP page or just overall?
From the nav menu click. So click-through rate
Okay.
in the nav menu.
Okay.
And again, we can look at the variants, version A and version B. All right, so I see Jonny has locked in his answer, Alun has locked in his answer, and Linda, it's up to you to lock in your answer. Samit, you are going, sorry, Sandeep, you're going with version A. Tell us your rationale, what your thinking is.
I think the 50% could apply to absolutely everybody. Everyone will be interested in that, whereas not everybody will be interested in VIP.
Okay, fair. And Vlad, you have a different opinion. You think version B.
Yep. For me, VIP sounds more exclusive. So I think for the loyalty aspect, B should work better.
Okay, fair as well. Now, contestants, you've all guessed the same way. I'd like to hear your rationale because our audience thinks either version A or version B. It really could be 50-50. And then tell us what your thinking is.
My thinking was similar to the last one. Once you start mentioning price, you're assuming someone's in the market to spend to do it. So if you're just there in a research mode, I might not click 50% off, but I would click VIP Express potentially. And I think Slobodan's said Express as well. On Express, so I think that was the reason. Close, but I fell on that side of it.
Okay. Linda, what was your thinking?
I just think that, so I think that if people were clear that the VIP Express was a membership and what they were clicking through was going to be a membership page, I don't think the save 50% is clear on that. I think that looks more on like a one-off service, but I think that's going to get more clicks, ultimately more views of that landing page, and a percentage of them will convert. So I picked A, because, you know, it looks like, I mean, I think people were looking for a service in the moment versus long-term relationship with Antoine's. But you know, everybody feels like they pay too much for dry cleaning anyway, so that was the hook for me.
Okay, and my apologies, I did say all the contestants chose the same, but Linda, you went with A, Lynn, you went with B, and Johnny, you went with B. What were you thinking?
So initially, just something felt, looking at it, that it was quite a premium thing, like they're talking about ball gowns and stuff like that. And then I thought, you probably don't want cheap. That, you know, like you want to, like, you might want to feel like it's a specialist service or something. And then when you said that one of the metrics was loyalty, then I just thought, well, that's, you know, VIP sort of reflects loyalty. So.
Right, okay, well, one of you is right and one of you is wrong, and we're going to go ahead, we'll guess on version B because that seems to be kind of the overall consensus, and we'll see what the right answer is. Dun, 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 dun. The answer is version A!
Yay!
Well done. So for everyone who guessed version B, wah, wah, wah. Linda, for you who guessed version A, you got the right answer. Well done. So version A, they set it up, it was a 50-50 split test, increased click-through rates by 37% and sign-up rates by 42% at 97% confidence. And there was about 8,000 visitors, so it was a smaller study. It was probably not properly powered. We'll have to take the results with a grain of salt. But what it does show is that, you know, clarity really converts and confused visitors don't. And changing the copy to say 50% just made the call to action a lot clearer. And also it really shows that small changes can make a big difference. So when you're thinking about, you know, changing copy for your test or your nav menu, something like 50% or VIP Express, you know, just a couple words in your nav menu can really, truly make a difference. So congratulations, Linda, you come ahead, 10 points ahead at 40 points. You've pushed Johnny out of his reigning championship, but Johnny, you had a good run. You did it twice and you were so close. And Alun, congratulations, 30 points. You both come in second, Johnny and Alun, and well done, congratulations. How does everyone feel? Defeated. And Linda, you're beaming.
I'm just thinking about, do I get fudge?
Not only, Linda, not only do you get fudge, you get to choose your fudge flavor, which is going to be mailed to you. We'll talk about that after offline, but there's, well, here, I'll show you all the different fudge flavors that you can choose. This is homemade fudge from, you know, my second small entrepreneurial business, Fudge Face. And you get to choose any fudge flavor that you want. That will be shipped directly to you. And in addition to that, Linda, as the winner today, you get an Automate to Win Level 1 certification. This is Sean David's Automate to Win platform. And you get Level 1 certification for free, $500 value. And you also get a complimentary group pro membership for you and up to 2 colleagues on Guess the Test. So you can access all the tests in the repository for free for a full year. And that is a $500 value for you. So you come away a sweet winner, literally from everything to fudge to Guess the Test membership. So congratulations. Well done.
Congratulations, everyone, on a really great show, and congratulations on Linda for winning. Good job.
Thank you.
And our next game show, where Linda will be our returning champion, is going to happen Thursday, March 21st at 11 a.m. As long as that works for your schedule, Linda. and we will be sending out invites and reminders and all that kind of stuff ahead of time. So audience, thank you so much for joining us. I do apologize. We had trouble getting people into the room. And so, sorry that you weren't able to attend the full game show. I'm glad that some people were able to make it in. So thank you for joining us. Alun, thank you so much. It was really great to get your insights and hear firsthand your thoughts.
Perfect. That's fine. It was enjoyable, very enjoyable.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. And Jonny, although you are not the return reigning champion, you had a really great run. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, great job, everyone.
Bye now.
Okay, bye. Thank you. We'll see you next month.